say it just like I feel it. Without Habitat, it wasn't possible for me.
We were living in a house that we were renting, and it was a very nice house. However, the owners were going into foreclosure on that house, and we didn't know where we were going to go.
Life was stressful due to the fact that I lived in a second-story apartment, and my legs were so bad it was risky business, you know, every time I went up and down. I just bring in Social Security disability, so that's not much money.
My husband was placed on a permanent layoff. All of a sudden, we didn't have the money, and that was a shock in itself.
The last 2 houses I've had, and as well as apartment, they had a little narrow kitchen, and me to cook like I cook, it was always kind of jammed up.
In the beginning, it was just the difference between knowing we're going to be able to pay for something and not knowing if we're going to be able to pay for something.
I enjoyed life, but just my living situation wasn't good at all.
I was just constantly talking to God and telling him what I wanted and what I desired.
And they interviewed us, and they saw how tiny our place was and that we were renting.
I actually realized that I may have a chance to actually own my own home, which is something that I would have never thought possible.
Out of the blue, we heard from Habitat again, and they said, "You've been approved through our selection process. We have a house we want you to come look at."
And he said, well, you have to move in right away. I just stood there saying, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus.
Whether it's public safety, national defense, or local volunteering, we see the benefit that they can bring. They improve and elevate the community. We remember the investments and the sacrifices that they make to serve we the people. It creates a unity that when people work together, when they begin to identify as a nation and as a community, and when they desire the same goals and the means to accomplishing them, that they find their purpose in the community.
At that time, you had to put in 500 hours. And you had to put in 100 hours before they would actually even consider you to build a house.
The first time that we came and looked at it, they had completely had it gutted. It was down to just the studs. We just showed up and said, put us to work. And there were just a variety of things that needed to be done and they were able to use us for.
I told them, I said, hey, they said I had to do like a 250 hour. I said, okay, I can't do any lifting, I can't do any building. I said, but I can cook.
People that go to my church volunteered, and I did a lot of help on other people's houses also.
You see society coming together, you see churches coming together, you see cultures coming together. It's a blessing.
I pounded nails and, you know, I did whatever it took to get this done, and I helped with the neighbors' houses. Just being able to help build other people's houses around you, that was a big joy for me.
Within the first month of being in the program, we had our first 100 hours in.
Putting sweat equity into your own house, I mean, you're going to get something back from it. It's a good feeling to put in work that you're going to benefit from. You can see the results.
I wanted to get stuff done, so I was out here about every day.
I actually have stuff in that folder where I had created, and we were putting our hours in. By the time we completed our house, we had put in over 1,800 hours.
Month before, I told the Lord when I was over there, I said, Lord, I know you got me a place with a great big kitchen and a great big space for me to cook, because I like to cook. I looked at it, I said, I couldn't believe it was as big as it is.
We feel very blessed to be in this house, and God has really provided for us through Habitat.
Ownership there's a whole lot of work that comes with it also, which to me, I mean, I'm embracing it. I just never thought I would own more than a lot, say, let alone 2.5 acres, which is absolutely amazing.
It made a big difference. It made a difference in, now we have our space, Now we can come together and we were happier.
They change lives, they change neighborhoods. They know that most of the people that qualify for the program don't have a chance to own a home unless Habitat exists. So it's a beautiful thing.
I was able to bring my wife into my own home, where when I was renting, it just wouldn't have worked out.
And I'm safe where I am. That is a big part. That's the important part, that I'm considered in a safe area.
It helps families, it helps communities because it brings people together.
There's a permanent relationship with individuals and just with knowing the character of the entire organization.
They're compassionate, they're caring people.
Their hearts are in the right place, their minds are in the right place, and their direction is going in the right direction.
They have minimal staff. They actually put the money towards houses, and they don't waste it.
Beautiful things happen. And it's not just building houses, it's building homes. I like to say that it's God coming out and shining through all people.
It's not a handout, it's a hand up. I don't know why people have this, vision of Habitat being they're the group that hands out houses. That's not true. You do have to meet criteria. You do have to put in your sweat equity. You do have a mortgage.
These houses are not free. They are interest free, which means the families pay for their homes. The interest is paid for with their blood, sweat, and tears. It's worth it though. It is definitely worth it.
It's worth the effort of whatever paperwork they need you to fill it out, be patient, because once they find what you want, it'll be worth the wait.
And your life doesn't quit, so you still have energy, you still have gas, you still have car insurance to pay, you have a life to live. So, this is just one part of your life, but, it's a big part of your life because it's, it's home.
Every child needs a place to call home. To call home. Every child needs a place where they can grow up healthy and learn and be safe. Safe. A place where they can play and dream and plan for their future. In the Habitat house, my parents helped build. In the Habitat house, my daddy helped build. My parents. My mommy and daddy. I study. I grow. I learn. I live. A house. A house. A house. A chance. A future. A house, a chance, a future. Are all in your hands. Your support can help put a decent roof over the heads of a family like mine. Like mine. Like mine.
I grew up pretty much on the north side of Flint. I was very active in a lot of sports, but I was also what one could consider at-risk youth because of some of the decisions and the choices I made. Outside of that, I was always very intelligent, just, talent that hadn't been tapped into. One of those things that I kind of miss about the city of Flint is the neighborhood type of environment that was like family. Where I got my goal for higher education was probably instilled in me as a kid. I went off to Michigan State. I majored in pre-med human biology. I started a CNA program, which is a certified nursing assisting program. In 2009, the same year that I got my home, I graduated with my bachelor's in nursing. I am the first in my family to obtain a college degree. And it actually means a lot for my family because I know for my younger siblings and other members of my family that it gives them hope to know that it's possible. I came from the same background, the same circumstances. I had heard about Habitat before. I wanted to have a Habitat home if it all was possible, but I didn't think I was eligible because I was a single individual without any children, and I thought it was for extremely poor people, that they would just give them a home. And I think that's the perception of most people who don't have a good knowledge about what Habitat does and how they help families. Habitat for Humanity is definitely not a handout. It's a hand up. They require you to do sweat equity. We do have a mortgage, so we do pay for our homes, which means we have to have some form of income. Habitat builds quality housing for individuals who qualify and who desire to partner with them. Initially, I was declined, and then I received a letter a few months later asking me if I was willing to partner. The feeling of getting those keys, it was just something I had never experienced before. Home ownership to me at that time, it was just like, this is my chance. Habitat became a family, and you just don't walk away from family. I was always still involved in, whether it was fundraisers or helping some of my neighbors put in their sweat equity hours. Margaret and a couple of others asked me if I wanted to be a board member. It was a very unique opportunity because they never had a homeowner on the actual board. So it gives it a different perspective because I can kind of see both sides. Anytime they ask me to do anything, I'm more than willing because I know the impact that it'll make and how it'll change the trajectory of lives for individuals that are Habitat homeowners.
In April 2016, more than 20 Dow Corps volunteers traveled to Flint, Michigan to install water filtration systems that feature Dow's reverse osmosis technology, trusted by municipalities, manufacturers, and families needing clean, healthy water at home. Dow partnered with Genesee County Habitat for Humanity to provide 150 water filters for all Habitat homes in Flint.
To cope with it has been difficult, with the water, because when you used to turning on your water and doing what you normally do every day, and then for it to change and you can't do that, it's hard.
Today we installed a water filtration system underneath the sink of this resident's home. She will be able to get clean water directly out of the sink now instead of having to use bottled water. Dow's reverse osmosis technology uses membrane filtration to take out the impurities in the water.
And when you've got neighbors that don't enjoy the same level of clean drinking water that you do, and you can do something about that, you want to just dive in and help.
What this means to our homeowners is definitely some peace of mind, some idea that their water quality of what they're drinking is going to be safe, that they have the ability to trust then what comes out of the faucet and be able to use it on a daily basis.
This filter is just, I can't even express in words what this means. It means so much. We're so appreciative, and we just don't know how to express it, Dow, but we thank you. We thank you for this.